Who's got the book radio? Fantastic. And who read the non-numbered pages? Specifically, getting into the preface and especially the presuppositions, pre-assumptions. I want to hear from you guys what your takeaways are. I could spend a full 30 minutes on each of these presuppositions. And I know many of you texted me going, all right, Russ, what are we doing with this? It's challenging me. And that just made me smile ear to ear. So what do you guys have?
It's a good beginning. I mean, I love the whole presuppositions. Of course, I like a proposition too. But anyway, presuppositions. Your life is a reflection of your beliefs. Self-centeredness is the root cause of fear. And that kind of mirrors, or I guess reflects, part of what we read in Atomic Habits. You're either out of love or you're out of fear. And so there were just a lot of parallels. And I am excited about what we're going to learn.
There absolutely are a lot of parallels to previous work. And a lot of this, again, comes from NLP research. And here's the interesting part of this. I can't wait to hear from you guys on it. It's all your own story.
Right.
Every one of us is living a hallucination of our own making. And here's the cool part. Why not just choose to make it a great one? That's what we're going to learn through this material. What else you guys have out of this first couple of sections?
I really liked how it started off. And this is a very interesting quote. I'd never heard this before. It's from The Little Prince. It says, "And now here is my secret, my very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly, which is essential. What is essential is invisible to the eye." And that's where the great depths of life are. It's in things that you can't really hold in your hand or see with your eye or hear with your ear. It's the result of all that, but it's love, joy, peace, gentleness, goodness, faith, all those types of things that are, you can't hold them in your hand. And what a great quote that is. This is my secret, my very simple secret. So I thought that was outstanding.
Yeah, time and again here, Doug, in this opening, it was about leading from the heart. Ties a lot back to Steve Farber's work on Radical Leap and Radical Edge.
Right.
And
I thought about that a couple of times when I was reading this.
Yeah, this other quote here on just the very first page of the preface. Every human heart has the potential for deep contentment, joy, and confidence. And training it is the most important thing you'll ever do.
And that's highlighted.
Amen, brother. In green. Hey, wait. We get to show matching highlights. How cool is that, right?
Yeah.
By the way, because we're following the model, we're reading with a green highlight. We're highlighting the stuff so we have it here for conversation. And for many of you, I suspect your drunk monkey right now is squealing away about woo-woo. And yet, lean into it. Stick it out through this content and learn how, through the conscious mind, we get to work on the unconscious mind, which will ultimately work on the heart. What else do you guys have? I am looking here in the attendees for open mics. Alexandra, boy, Doug, I've got yours, and I got nobody else hot right now. So who else wants to speak up on the material, especially the presuppositions?
Oh, are we just speaking up, or were you calling on people?
Well, I will take either one. I'm hearing a wonderful voice. So I'm optimistic that, we're just going to go with you, Latrice.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what page number this is, but anyway, it was just saying most of us have been playing the wrong game our entire lives. We've been focusing on short-term wins, temporary happiness, and surface level achievements when we were created for so much more. We've been playing a zero-sum finite game with a winner and a loser, a beginning and an end when it's really an infinite one. Life is meant to be a journey connecting with others, growing together, discovering new amazing things. And there's so much more on that. I don't know what page this is though, but anyway, that spoke to me just because it was like from the preface as well, just talking about just well, coming from Ninja Selling about relationships. That's the only book I've read with you all as a group. So then thinking about the bigger picture of it not just being so finite of a win and loss, and just a much bigger picture and how that can affect your life and those around you is how that spoke to me.
Yeah, and you're now starting to lean into the beginning of the presuppositions. And I love that he put in here as well on that. The quality of your life is based on 3 elements. Number 1, your inner world of thoughts and feelings, beliefs, and desires. Number 2, your frame of reference, the glasses you see things in. And finally, number 3, your relationships, the people around you. The people that you're leaning into, the people that you've married, your kids, as well as those you get to even choose more on, like this room that you guys are all leaning into. Also, the quality of your performance is based on 3 elements. Number 1, your belief about who you are and what's possible. That opportunity mindset. Number 2, your ability to focus and be fully engaged in the moment, to be present in heart, mind, and body. And finally, 3, and I love this one, your freedom to play like a kid, curiously exploring possibilities, excited for challenges that might arise. Jeanette, you're up. What do you got?
Appreciating back on page 7. So as you read the book and examine your heart, you'll find your greatest dream is not in realizing and having millions of dollars or perhaps a house overlooking the ocean. Your dream is how you think these things will make you feel. And so the money, material possessions are not really what we're after. If we search our heart, what we really want is to feel truly alive, filled with vitality, purpose, meaning, absolute fullness of life.
That's where the real win is. So many people are playing, as was said, a short game, a right now game, a deal with my immediate challenge problem versus looking how they're playing the long game. And all these presuppositions, both the ones to drop and the new ones we're going to install, lead to that. So I'm going to throw in the bad ones, the old presuppositions that most of the world is living with that we are going to eliminate. Number 1, I am my thoughts. So many times I hear people say, that's just who I am. And they're locked into this story in their own head, their own thoughts. Number 2, my value is based on my results, the outcome. No, actually, your value is who you were designed to be. And if you just lean into that, amazing things are going to happen. And finally, my favorite, number 3, the best performers were born that way. They have talent. Hard work trumps talent every single time. All of you have incredible talent that you just haven't put the work in to develop and bring to the surface at a high level. We're going to put in the hard work, starting with the hard work on the mind and the presuppositions. So, Tom, I saw you come, go. Here you are again. What do you got, brother?
So, yeah, the presupposition that people are just born with this talent also goes back to the other book that, golly, I lost my train of thought. That's why I got derailed before. When I get it, I'll write it down and then I'll tell you. I don't know.
Fair enough. So let's get into one, since you guys aren't bringing them up, and I want to make sure that we talk about these. Here are the 10 new
The 10.
empowering presuppositions. Number 1, every circumstance and every person you encounter is here to teach you and help you. It's all working for your good. How many people in your life right now maybe have been in your life right now that you've got judgment, you've got story, you've got negative conversations running, rather than acknowledging and being grateful that they were brought into your world to teach you and help you. And it's all working for the good. I've got someone in my world that ultimately I wound up inside a bankruptcy court. And here's the cool part. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys today. I wouldn't be growing like I have been. I wouldn't have the amazing life that I've got. I would still be living that life that I was not intended to be. Everything's happening for my good, and I know that. Celeste.
So very powerful what you just said, that when someone approaches you in a way that maybe you take as harsh or critical or whatever the words would be that you put behind it, what Russ just said is so important, that you change the way you see or hear what's being put at you. Because obviously our egos get in the way. We hear it as a criticism instead of maybe thinking, they know you. They know who you are, what you are all about, your goodness. And maybe, just maybe, they're coming at you going, this isn't who you are. I want you to look at that and fix it. And I'll use my own example. My sister-in-law, love her dearly, but this weekend she came at me with such harsh comments about how my videos looked. And she's like, this doesn't look like you, Celeste. This isn't, I don't like it. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, what the hell? But then I gave back to her. I said, what if I did it this way? And she's like, yeah, that's way more professional. I like that. That's you. I'm like, okay. But meanwhile, my ego is like totally black and blue here. And I think about that and I think how many times we have someone who has said something, and I'm just referencing, it could be anything. Someone has criticized you for whatever, could be even just something you've said, or you showed up and you weren't wearing the right outfit and you took it as a personal offense instead of saying, wait a minute. And I have a sticker on my laptop that Russ encouraged me to put in there. And that was pause, think, and resume. And my thought process now is is I do think that I took it harsh when she criticized, but now I'm saying to myself, what the hell? Maybe she's right. Maybe I could change that. And I now I don't care that I initially took it as harsh. I did, but I'm like pushing that back and going, you know what? It was for my betterment. That's the message. And if we could do that with everything we do, instead of dwelling in the negative, but find a way to, like, as they say, what is this thing about forgiveness? How do we forgive? Why are we forgiving? We're not forgiving them. We forgive ourselves in the moment, and we will learn that, there's a higher power out here for us. Don't dwell in the negative.
So think about this for a moment, because what you're really talking about is your frame of reference, your beliefs, which take us into presupposition number 2. Your life is a reflection of your beliefs. No, the beliefs are a set, and it's a skill. It's what you're learning. In fact, directly from the content, the foundation of extraordinary performance, joy, and confidence. And the primary skill to learn is how to believe. Beliefs are just a control panel of your life, a subconscious thermostat. Man, we've talked about that before, the financial thermostat, your beliefs around money. Keeping your life in line with your comfort level. That's all the beliefs are there to do. To improve performance and your life in a consistent, powerful way, you must change your beliefs about who you are and about what is possible. And that's 100% in your guys' control. You get to work on that, change that, improve it, which will make everything else happen automagically. Carrie, you're up.
So I'm going to tell you that number 14, of course, because I have to say something that's opposite of everything. The person with the most control of their inner world has the most power. Well, I don't understand. I don't like to think of it like that at all. That's BS. So
What
I
is
may
it? What
have-
is it about that you don't like? Let's get a little deeper.
because there's no power to be had. There's no power. There is no power. We don't need power. We need understanding. Like, just because my growth is different than yours doesn't make me any better or you any worse. You're just on a completely different journey. Screw that that sentence. I hate it. Like,
Well,
that's all.
you hate it because
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I just think it's wrong. I don't think it's equal. I think
you
everybody's
think
on their,
it's wrong
because I don't think it's, I don't know I don't know. I'm not sure what you're getting at right now. I just think
Well,
it's not okay.
let's
Like, I don't
say-
want to
let's
have
just
power
say,
over it.
hypothetically, I had the financial power in this room to give every one of you $10,000 each month for the rest of this year. Would that be okay, Carrie?
I would envy you. Yes, it would be
And
okay.
do I have more power? It's financial power. Do I have more power?
Yes, but you're doing something good with it. I guess I don't have a good idea of power. I hate that.
Yeah,
It's
see,
terrible.
let's go to the beliefs there. The belief is that power is bad because people use it for bad. That's
Yeah.
the story. So
Right, if
you don't want any of that power
I don't.
because you see it in that lens. Go back to number 2, change your belief around it, because really, and I love how it's 10 and you guys are connected to other pieces in here. The person with the most control of their inner world has the most power. And here's what he's talking about. Mastery of the ego is the great challenge and great opponent in every competition. Selflessness, complete surrender of the attachments, concerns, and fears of the self is the central component to an extraordinary performance and cornerstone to creating beliefs that lead to absolute fullness of life. Let's go back with you, Carrie.
Mhm.
You've got this belief power bad. If you exercise that power, others will think it's bad. So that fear of judgment and other people's opinions comes into the equation.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you to think of all the good you can do as you raise your power.
Yeah,
Use
absolutely.
your power of influence to help people.
Right. Absolutely. I'm okay with that. You can have-
Well, then you get to reframe what you mean by power. Mr. Tom, you're back in. What do you got, brother?
Two things. First, change power to ability, and it'll maybe feel better to carry. But the other thing is, all the stuff that we're learning also goes back to the last book and talks about setting aside your envy and your whatever with people that are masters, and actually just learn from them. And so, I mean, that's what we're going to do, is learn from ourselves in this book. But it just, I think the key here is setting aside your jealousy and your envy. So, wow, he's a real master, but a master doesn't think they're a master. They think they know they're still learning, right?
Every step of the way, Tom. Every step. And back to this again, a couple of the pieces of power, Carrie, which are kind of fun. I have more inner power over my calendar that I've been working on and improving that skill. I have more inner power over my time. I have the power to show up here every day and give for 30 minutes every day in this morning mindset. More good stuff used as I have increased that inner control and that inner power. Justin and then Dustin. Kind of nice. What do you got, Justin?
Yeah, perfect. So I'm still waiting on my book, but just going off of some things that were already said. And you explaining about the power reminds me of something I learned in NLP, and that was like Tad James days. I think they called it the law of requisite variety. And if I can put this together right, it was the person or system with the most behavioral flexibility will always control the other person or system. So, and that behavioral flexibility could be good or could be bad. It could be, you know, me aligning myself coming from a place of caring, giving, learning, and asking the right questions. Whereas for somebody else, it might be, you know, threatening or, you know, so that behavior flexibility is power. And I look forward to getting the book.
It's going to be great stuff, and you're absolutely right. And here's the key with the flexibility. It means that you're able to make choices rather than, and we've all been there with our spouse, having the same conversation that ends in the same way with us fighting or arguing. We now have the behavioral flexibility to not respond the same way, to keep ourselves in check, and then take that conversation in a different direction. Dustin, you're up next.
I love how this is focusing on who we have to be first, because we talk about it all the time. In many of the books, it's the be, do, have, right? Or the bar action, the be, action, results. And we all want those results. We want the view from the top of the mountain, but we don't want to climb the mountain. Either A, we don't want to take the actions to do it, or most importantly, we're not going to become that person who needs to do those actions. And on XXVII, he says, we don't climb mountains to get to the top. We climb to see who we can become in trying to get there. The peak gives us goal and focus for our behaviors, but the reason for climbing or competing is far more empowering than an expansive view and social media posts. So pretty powerful stuff. I'm really excited to get into this. And especially, I used to be pre-Olympic for Taekwondo, training at Lake Placid and the Colorado Event Center. And so we worked on mindset quite a bit because it is unbelievably brutal, but this is going to be really, really fun.
Yes, it is. These presuppositions are fun too, because we're challenging, as Dustin's saying, who we are. We get to make the choices there, though, of who we are. And again, the goal of this, I love how it opened up with just really being present and comfortable and confident in the moment, because we're letting go of a lot of things, including some more presuppositions I want to talk about. Jeanette, what do you got?
Oh, I realized I was not muted. Sorry. This is the right book for me to be reading today, and not starting the day with a great attitude. So this is actually helping a lot already this morning. So just wanted to appreciate these different places, and it is a choice. And the points as you're working through the choices, just even today, even right now, wherever we might be, the choice is still there, and it's good to have it.
Well, I'm glad the timing on this was a good fit for you. And this is going to be a big piece for all of you as we kick this into gear. Caesar, I saw your mic hot. Bring us home, brother.
Thanks, Coach. I want to then tie into what Justin was saying. Number 10, the person with the most control of their inner world has the most power. So this comes into play all the time when we're listening to people. We want to like maybe say something right away, but like if you control that ego, to control your emotions, that's when you're like, okay, you let the other person speak instead of like building it up and putting it up. The other thing I wanted to add with this that I think ties into our world is the Olympian part of it, where they're training for 4 years or maybe even prior to that, just to compete in a small little competition. The correlation with us is we continue to work every day, make phone calls, For what? For like that, after those 50 or 100 contacts, to get that one chance to deliver at the listing appointment or the showing or whatever the case may be. So it's the same mindset. It's just controlling what's up here, as Dustin also referred to. That is the most important thing for athletes, is up here more than the performing of the actual body. And also, I like the example of, it's not the reaching the mountaintop, it's that journey that you go up there. Same as well as I'm sure all of us experiences when we get that big old check. It's almost like it's okay, but it was like your breakthrough to get to that point where it's like, okay, that's like the goal, the end of it. But it was really your journey that you've worked through all that to get through that. That's like the biggest key takeaway from that experience.
All right. So the biggest takeaway for me is not everybody has their book yet. And Caesar, thanks for that hit. We still have 5 or 6 of these presuppositions that I want us talking about. So we are going to stay in the same section. So all of the Roman numerals, just to keep it easy for you, we will start on page 1 for Wednesday's conversation. So tomorrow, more on the presupposition, more on the way we're thinking, have been, and going to be. And by all means, guys, let's keep life rocking.